Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and we are about 5 weeks out from our last frost date. Our last frost date is usually around the end of April, but I do like to have my garden planted out by the middle of May, so we are about 7 weeks out from that, which means this week is the start of Tomato Fest. Tomato seed starting planting fest, but that was too long for the title. So Tomato Fest. All this week I am going to be planting different types of tomatoes. Yesterday I did start out my eggplants. I did a reel or a short of that if you want to go check that out. I've got 2 different varieties of eggplants that I am growing this year, the Fairy Tale and the Casper. One is a purple and one is a white. Both of them are smaller eggplants. But today is the start of tomatoes. We're gonna have 4 days straight of planting tomatoes, and this first day we're doing the dwarfs. I think I'm gonna do it dwarfs, slicers, romas, and then snackers, but that's just the tentative plan. Here I have 14 different varieties of dwarf plants that I want to start. Mostly I grow my dwarf plants in pots, which is why I'm okay with planting all of the different varieties I have, because if they don't work, I have a lot of friends and family who like some of the smaller compact tomato plants, so these are easier to gift to others than some of the other varieties. And behind me I have several 2.5-inch pots that are ready for some planting. So let me go show you what varieties I'm growing this year. So the way I like to do my tomato plants is if they are older seeds, I usually do 3 per container. But if they're seeds I just got the current planting year, then I'll just do 2. And some of these may be even older and only have a few seeds left in them, so I'll just plant out all of the seeds. But I'm gonna start out with Pico's Pride. This is an adorable variegated plant that I have just fallen in love with. It produces pretty well for me, so it might be one of those dwarfs that I always have in the garden. Let's see. Get some holes and then drop each of those in. Okay, so that was Pico's. I do have the fact that they are dwarfs marked on all of these. I'm gonna make sure I cover, yeah, where I pulled off the barcode. Because usually when I'm out planting, I'm not gonna remember if a variety is a dwarf variety or not. So I make sure I have that on the label so I don't get confused. Next up is the Fuzzy Wuzzy Dwarf. This one I like because it is one of those fuzzy tomatoes. So it's kind of got that soft skin like a peach, which I've always found to be fun. I have several fuzzy varieties that I sometimes like to rotate through. Next off, I got the Gandalf. This is a variegated with potato leaf. I do like how it looks. I can't say that I've ever gotten a ton of tomatoes off of this plant, but I'm determined to keep on trying. The next variety I have from 2 different places. So I'm gonna do another experiment. I did an experiment last year, mixed results, but I'm gonna run it again this year. So I've got the Dipper Delight from both Woodlands Creations and also from Russ, the breeder of the variety. So we're just gonna see how all of that does. Do this one at a time. The first one I'm gonna do is from Woodlands. So Russ is the one who has done all of the Starfighter line of tomatoes that I have just wanted to have success with over the last couple of years, and I don't know. I've always struggled with them. So most of them I've decided that I am not gonna try and grow anymore, with the exception of this Dipper's Delight, because I have room to keep on trying with this one because it is a potted variety, whereas my in-ground space is fairly limited, and by in-ground I mean my raised beds, so I need to focus on varieties I know will be productive or what I enjoy. And the thing about most of the Starfighter line is they're a little more delicate of a plant than I am comfortable with growing. And that's Woodlands. So right now the rest of the Starfighter line is pretty much sitting in my archive box of seeds that I'm probably gonna give away at some point, but just haven't had the heart to let go of yet. But Dipper's Delight is also one of those ones that I think after I run out of seeds, probably not going to grow it anymore. I haven't found a dwarf variety that I am absolutely in love with yet that does really, really well for me. So I'm kind of on the hunt for that. And another one in that same vein of the Starfighter line from Russ, I also have the Penny Lane. So I suppose it's not just Dipper's Delight that I decided to keep, it's also the Penny Lane. But once again, I think, unless it proves itself to be really good, I'm not gonna do purchase of them again. I am a sucker for any kind of fruit or vegetable that is named after any of the fandoms that I truly enjoy. So that's why you'll see a lot of almost Star Wars references, a lot of music references. What was the other one the other day? Oh, Lord of the Rings. We just did Gandalf. What am I even talking about? It wasn't even the other day. Trying to do too many things at once. Okay. So next we have a newer one to me, which I'm kind of excited about, and that is the Raspberry Burst. This is from Wild Boar Farm. I've got high hopes for it. It looks so pretty in the pictures. I will say Wild Boar has become one of my favorite places to look at tomato seeds anymore, because they are coming out with some really pretty varieties. Okay, that's Raspberry Burst. So each year I kind of get suckered into some more. I mean, this is only the second year I've ordered from them, but I'm probably going to do that for the end of time now. And then I have one of my first dwarf plants that I ever attempted to grow, and that's the Werewolf. I actually got this several years ago, not even realizing it was a dwarf tomato plant, but it's kind of what started the spark of trying to find good container tomatoes. And maybe someday I'll get into some of the micro dwarfs so I can do like patio, but for now I need to find a really good container tomato. I am just bad with container gardening. That's why I'm trying to find one that puts up with my weirdness in watering. And then the Nebraska wind and everything else. Ooh, this one's a new one. So MI Gardener has been playing around with some new tomatoes, and so I had to grab some of them because they look so pretty. And the first one of those is the Emerald City tomato. I love tomatoes that are striped. I love tomatoes that are multicolored. I'm a sucker for anything that's kind of in that realm. And so when I saw it, I decided I needed to try it. I'm not a huge Wizard of Oz fan. Read the book and also read Wicked. Did not like that. Do enjoy the musical though. And just like that, it is planted. There it is. And then the next one is the Mad Hatter. I love Alice in Wonderland. Most of the different adaptations or retellings or inspired by things I tend to enjoy just because of the nonsense of it all. So when he first said the name of this tomato, I'm like, dang it, I'm gonna have to have it in my garden at some point. And then it was a dwarf variety, and I got extra excited. That is the Mad Hatter. This is another one of those dwarf tomatoes that I've been trying from the very beginning, and that's the Purple Rain. I've had on and off success with it. It's another one of those ones that I'll probably use up the seeds, but because I've maybe gotten only like 3 or so tomatoes off of it in any given year, I might just have to say goodbye. Oops, just dropped that seed where it shouldn't have been dropped. There we go. That was the Purple Rain. And the next couple are all of the Fred line. The first one being the tie-dye. I'm hoping at some point I have success with, but so far I haven't had the greatest luck with. It looks like I've only got 1 more year with these guys. And then I'm gonna have to move on. Next up is the Wild Fred. Yep, this one's another one. doesn't do well this year or next year, I'm gonna have to say that's it. And the last of the Freds is a brandy Fred. Ooh, I got a lot of these. Ooh, that's a rock. Let's get that out. And the final dwarf that I have is the Dwarf Metallica. With that, I'm going to get this cleaned up and get the vermiculite out. So that is the start of Tomato Fest. Like I said, I'm probably going to be doing slicer tomatoes tomorrow, so feel free to come back and watch that. If you aren't subscribed, feel free to subscribe down below, hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications so that you know when the next tomato video comes up. I do also have an Instagram and Threads account that you can follow all of this over there as well. I usually, at this point in the video, I'll take you around and show you how all of the seedlings are doing. But because I am going to be doing a video every single day this week, I think I'm going to hold off until the very last tomato planting on Friday to show you how all of these are doing. But just a sneak peek, some of the herbs are already starting to come up, which is exciting. I did have to do a little bit of shuffling around because it got cold outside. We are in the 20s right now. So I did have to turn on the new lights up in the old guinea pig cages, and we are now starting to utilize some of that upstairs. So I have how many trays of seedlings right now? I mean, at least 6 in here. I've got 2 on heat mats, 3, that's 11, and then 13. I have 13 different, yeah. So it's a little crazy around here. I do hope I will see you guys again in another video. Please, please let me know what kind of tomatoes you are excited about growing this year. I love to hear about tomatoes. And I heart you beautiful faces. Bye.